Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to talk about that amazing technological device known as a keyboard. Yes, something that many of you have not used in years because you're too busy texting and using your thumbs. But it is very important, right? We're in a computer class. We'll be using these every single day. So we want to make sure that you're going to be doing it in the proper way. So make sure you get out your notes, you follow the STORM philosophy, and you sit back and enjoy. So what are you going to learn today? Well, we're going to talk about the goal. Why are we talking about keyboarding? Why am I teaching keyboarding? Well, there is a goal there. We're going to talk about the benefits of good keyboarding skills, how that's going to benefit you in your future. We're going to look at the 7 proper keyboarding techniques. Yes, that lucky number 7. And lastly, we will identify the proper finger placement. So in teaching you how to properly keyboard, I do have a goal in mind. I want you to be able to touch type, so use your fingers and type, at a reasonable speed with good accuracy. This means that you can type on the keyboard without looking at the keys. You can look at the monitor, you can look at your notes, you can look at anywhere else and be able to keyboard, touch type, at a pretty good speed with pretty good accuracy. So that's my goal, but it should also be your goal. Right? You want to be able to do this at a reasonable speed with good accuracy because it will benefit you. It's not just about achieving my goals, although those are very important. It's about achieving your goals too. And here's why. If you're able to touch type at a reasonable speed with great accuracy, you'll be more efficient in your future. Think about all the courses you're going to take through your high school career, as well as university, college, or even the workplace. Most jobs, most courses, most colleges, universities, so on and so forth, require typing, especially computer courses. But any course, if you think about it, you have to write reports, and these have to be typed. In the workplace, you're going to have to write reports too, and these are going to have to be typed. Right? So it's going to make it more efficient. You'll have more free time to do other things, and that's what will lead to greater success in the workplace or university or college. Right? More free time to do other things, to explore, to innovate, do all sorts of other things. And as previously mentioned, it will help you in your future career. You can key your own information. You can set up the proper forms really quickly. You can type your letters, your reports, your memos. Right? All those things that are required on a daily basis in your future career, you'll be able to type very quickly. And thus, you will excel in the workplace. Right? And with that comes, well, greater profits for you. And if you can type quick enough, you can key your own essays, your reports, your notes in class, your review sheets. And this can be done faster than handwriting. And thus you can save it, you can edit it, you can print it, you can use it multiple times, and that's going to benefit you. Right? If you can type quickly and effectively and efficiently, right, you can make money. You can make a lot of money. There's many jobs out there that require really fast keyboard skills. Now, I'm not talking about writing essays for others. I'm talking about those jobs that require keying all the time. Right? So become really good at it. You have a job waiting for you. Right? If you can keyboard really well, then you will become more employable, more marketable. I mean, it's basically a given now. Everyone has to be able to use the keyboard, right, pretty effectively and efficiently. And it's just a part of the day-to-day tasks of working in many careers. The minimum in business for keying skills is 40 words per minute. So I challenge you, open up a Word document, type out 40 words in a minute, see if you can do that. If you can, you're ready for the workplace. If you can't, then that's why we're here. We need to work on this. The other thing is that if you're going to be sitting in front of a computer for, well, the rest of your life almost, at least in your career, then you need to make sure that you are employing the proper technique. If you don't, then you will develop poor posture. You will develop all sorts of conditions associated with your spine and your wrists and carpal tunnel and things like this. So you need to make sure that you're doing it effectively. Right? Proper posture will prevent injuries over the long term. Hand-eye coordination is another benefit. Right? If you can type without looking, that's your hand-eye coordination. You can look at something else and type. I mean, this is very valuable in any sport that you're playing, or such as baseball or cricket or anything like this. Hand-eye coordination is very valuable. So practice. Use the keyboard. Type away and develop that hand-eye coordination. How many of you have poor handwriting? Well, if you key your work, it's going to be more neater. Right? The applications that you can use can check for errors and make sure that it's error-free. Right? Spelling and grammar checks. Right? You still need a proofread, but if you key your work, it's much easier to edit this work, and it's easier for me to read it in a lot of cases. Right? So that's something else that you want to consider. So if we're going to reap all of these benefits, then we need to make sure that you identify the 7 proper keyboarding techniques and you employ these every time you use the keyboard. So good posture, body position, feet on the floor, fingers curved, fingers on the home row, quiet, wrists and elbows, and eyes on copy. So let's go through each of these now. So good posture refers to whether you are sitting up tall. Are you leaning slightly forward in your chair? Are you facing toward your computer? If you're not doing any of these, or you're not doing one of these, then you're developing bad posture. And this can cause many serious health effects. So make sure that you're up tall, that you're leaning slightly forward, and that you're facing the computer. Right? This will help you in the long run. Your body position is also important. The keyboard should be at the edge of your table. Right? Your body should be a hand span away from this keyboard. You should be centered at the B key or the middle of the space bar. By doing so, you'll have proper body position, and again, this will help you in the long run. Your feet on the floor is also important. Many don't consider this, but you want to have your feet on the floor. You want to have them in a resting position, slightly balanced, slightly apart, right? And that feeling of balance so that you can maneuver in your chair if you need to, and so you're sitting properly and comfortably. Fingers curved refers to how comfortable your fingers are curved on the keyboard. Are your fingers upright and not leaning? Are your thumbs resting on the space bar? Make sure that you take into account your fingers and how they're positioned and how comfortable they are, because this is what you are using all the time, and you want to make sure that it is a comfortable experience. Also with your fingers, you need to make sure that they're resting on the home row. Yes, this is the row A through the comma key. We call this the home row because this is where your fingers should return to after every keystroke. Right? Rest your fingers on the F and the J key. By doing so, you'll be in a proper keyboarding form and you will benefit in the long run. Number 6 is all about quiet wrists and elbows. No, we're not talking about your wrists talking too loudly or making music. We're talking about them being level and relaxed. We want our wrists not resting on the keyboard or the table. This will develop carpal tunnel syndrome. This is something that will hurt. Believe me, with old age, this will really hurt. So you want your elbows resting naturally at your side and you want your shoulders relaxed. By doing this, again, proper keyboard technique. And number 7, last but not least, is your eyes on copy. Now this is what you are typing, right? You're copying something, you're typing it into your word processor, or you're copying something from another program. You want to make sure that your copy, whatever you're looking at, is in the right place, that's adjusted properly, that you can see it clearly, right? That you're looking at it and you don't have to look down at the keys, right? By doing this, you'll be more Speedy Gonzales, and you can type very quickly. So this is what it looks like. Your fingers should be placed at appropriate positions on the keyboard. Your index fingers, yes, those pointy fingers that you point at everyone with, should be carefully placed on the F and the J key. Your other fingers then are placed on the keys next to it. And your fingers can then touch any of the keys above or below this home position. And each finger is responsible for X amount of keys. Right? If you're going to type your name, what fingers are you going to use? Well, look at the diagram here. Identify how you're going to touch each of these keys. All right, this is how to properly keyboard. For a more elaborate view of the keyboard and which keys your fingers strike, this keyboard. Now notice I have 3 hands all of a sudden. No, that's your right hand, right? If you ever need to use the number pad, you will use your right hand. And then again, each finger is responsible for a certain number of keys on this number pad. Right? So your fingers will strike all of these keys according to where they're placed on the keyboard. And if you place them accordingly and using the home row as your guide, then you can return very quickly back to your F and the J key and any of your home keys therein. And you can type much more quickly and more effectively and therefore benefit in the long run. Well, this brings us to the end of this presentation. Consider this for a second. When I was in grade 9, my grade 9 business class was only about keyboarding. Look how far we've come. You guys are learning much more than just simple keyboarding. This is now a common skill that many of you have developed through the years. Computers are so a part of your lives, and you need to use these accordingly and effectively. So, consider your own typing skills. What part of the 7 techniques can you most improve upon? I think you should consider this and really improve upon them, but also consider why you need to improve these. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Make sure your notes are in order. Make sure you're ready for discussion tomorrow. And that's it. That's all. That's everything. We'll see you tomorrow.